Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, welcome. For today's video, we're going to be talking through all of my spending for the last week of July. And you guys, I behaved this week like I did not even have a budget. So, welcome back to another episode of Overspending with Jessie, where I totally screw my budget for the month. Luckily, we're starting fresh with a new month soon. I just sabotaged myself in a major way this past week. Let's just talk about it. This is going to be everything I spent. Usually when we get towards the end of the month, I do my weekly spending and I kind of close out my budget all in one video. But there is a lot of transactions to get through, so I'm going to split it up like I do in a typical week. This is going to be all of the spending that happened this week. You guys will see my budget close out for July tomorrow, and then we'll move on into August budgeting after that. There was a lot of spending that happened, both because it's the end of the month and there's a lot of like automatic payments that come out, but also because your girl spent a lot this week. Okay, so July 23rd was actually a no spend day, which is great. Need all of the no spend days I can get. On the 24th, however, we did some spending. So I was already over budget in my eating out category. So I should not have eaten out this week at all, right? Like I should have mitigated the damage, stopped eating out. Did I do that? No. We had 2 big meals out this week because screw the budget, right? Not the best. Not the best at all. On the 24th, my family and I had Chipotle. And so that came out of our eating out category, which was already depleted. And the amount there was $60.16. Also on the 24th, we had a subscription come out. It was our Crunchyroll subscription. And that category is autopay. I lump all of these little subscriptions together in one category, one line item in my budget called autopay. And the amount there was $11.99. And that was it for the 24th. On the 25th, I, much like my eating out budget, decided it would be fun to totally blow my grocery budget. Was not in the budget to go to Sam's Club, but we were nearby and I took the opportunity to go in and stock up on a bunch of stuff. And I did film a haul. You would have seen that if you watched it last week of everything we bought. We spent over $600. Some of that was business expenses for our company. We bought some things like office supplies and things, toilet paper for the office, that sort of thing. So when I took that amount off, the amount that was left for Sam's Club, and we are going to categorize that as grocery, was $401.11. And on top of that, we also had a Walmart order for our typical weekly groceries. So my whole grocery budget for July, I think, was $1,200, and I spent half of that this week. So definitely have blown the budget there as well. So at Walmart, we spent $198.61. I ultimately just decided, you know what, we're right here by Sam's Club. I'm going to stock up. It's going to put me over budget. And I just decided to be okay with that. It is what it is. We'll start fresh with a new budget in August. Let's just burn it all down for July. Last couple of weeks, I've really had a hard time reeling in the spending and controlling myself. And so I'm excited for a new fresh start next week with a new budget. And I'm going to change up the way I'm doing things to hopefully get that under control. So you guys will see that in an upcoming video. For now, let's just keep talking about overspending. My husband had a doctor's appointment this day, and so he had to pay a copay. And this is something that typically would come out of a sinking fund, but my sinking funds have been a mess too. That's another thing that I'm going to focus on in August, is getting my sinking funds back under control. For right now, I just took it out of spending. Basically, this trash week of budgeting is kind of wrapping up everything, and then I'm starting fresh with all new systems, all new setups, starting with the first paycheck of August. So this is really ugly and dirty and messy. We're going to put it behind us and move forward. For now, it's just kind of make sure everything is paid and covered one way or another, even if it's not like neat and tidy, and I'm definitely not going to come in under budget. It just is what it is. So yeah, he went to the doctor. He had a copay of $60. Okay. And then he went to the pharmacy to pick up a prescription. That also came out of spending. And the amount for that was $5.56. All right. Then on the 26th, we went out to lunch during work. So we went for Chinese food, and that's coming out of eating out. And that amount was $49.76. So yeah, even though we did not have any money in the eating out budget, we still spent over $100 in eating out this week. Not good. Okay. On the 27th, believe it or not, we didn't buy enough from Sam's Club when we were there. We placed a Sam's Club order. While we were in Sam's Club, they did not have the dog food we buy from Maple, so we ended up ordering it online. So that came out of our grocery spending, and that was $67.82. Then also on the 27th, we had my husband's motorcycle insurance come out, which is on a separate policy from all of our other vehicles because this is the best deal we could get through Progressive, and that was $26.01. On the 28th, we had a no spend. On the 29th, we had our Netflix subscription come out. And that category is auto pay. And that was $15.49. Also on the 29th, we had one of my YouTube memberships come out. This technically could be a business expense for my small business here, my YouTube channel / Etsy shop, my little Jwhackers small business. I've been keeping it as personal. I might reevaluate that moving forward when I kind of change everything up. Because technically, I think I could count the YouTube memberships as a business expense. I need to check with my accountant about that, actually. I'm not sure if that's a business expense. Either way, I could use my money from that small business to pay for it. I'm going to be separating out my small business budget for Jwhackers in August. It's another one of the big changes I'm making. I used to always have it separate, and then I kind of combined everything, which was silly. I just haven't been a good job overall of like categorizing things, compartmentalizing things. I've been very disorganized. So really want to zip things up in August. Fresh start. We had my husband's Onyx Maps subscription come out. He uses that app for during hunting season. And it's not hunting season, but he never canceled it. So we're still paying for it, which is fine. We're going to be moving into hunting season here pretty darn quick anyway, and he'll need to resubscribe. So $15.89 for that. And then lastly, we went to the pharmacy to pick up my prescriptions, which again is something that moving forward is going to be a sinking fund. For now, it's coming out of spending. And all of my prescriptions ran out at once, so it was a pretty hefty price of $49.19. I think that's everything. That's a lot. And actually, it didn't take as long as I thought. We'll see how long it takes me to categorize and add everything up. Maybe I'll just go ahead and close out the budget in this video as well. And you can just ignore everything I said in the intro. All right, so for eating out, we're gonna use yellow. It's where we're gonna start. And I'm gonna highlight and add it up. We had 2 transactions for eating out. Let me grab my calculator here. So we had $60.16 plus $49.76 for a total of $109.92 in eating out. All right, and then for auto pay, let's use this fun purple. So we had Crunchyroll, $11.99 plus $26.01 plus $15.49 plus $14.99 plus $15.89. And I think that was everything. So $84.37 in auto pay. All right, let's talk about groceries next. We'll do pink for grocery. Okay, so we had $401.11 plus $198.61 plus $67.82 for a total of $667.54. All right, and then lastly we have spending with $60 plus $556 plus $49.19 for a total of $114.75. All right, so that's everything. Let's get a grand total. It's a lot. $976.58. Egads. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and just close out my budget and just put this train wreck of a budgeting month behind us. So I'm going to flip here to this hybrid budget. We're going to go to week 4 here for my variable categories. And it's all the same categories we just tracked. So grocery, eating out, spending, and auto pay. And let's just get the amounts we spent written in here. So for eating out, it was $109.92. For spending, it was $114.75. For auto pay, it was $84.37. And for grocery, it was $667.54. All right, so I'm going to pull this page out so that I can flip back here. All right, so for grocery, I started out the month with $1,200 in the budget, as you can sort of see here, right? At the end of last week, we still had a lot of money left. We had $574 $415. But of course we spent more than that at $667.54, and we're over budget by $93.39. So what do we have remaining? Negative $93.39. Okay, for eating out, we're already negative at $18.99. And then we spent $109.92, which means we are over budget by $128.91, which is so bad. But at the beginning of the month, I slashed my eating out budget to half of what it usually was in an attempt to eat out less, and then we didn't really eat out less. So I just kind of failed at that experiment. All right, for spending, we had $93.37 remaining at the end of last week. We spent more than that as well, so we're over budget in this category as well by $21.38. And for auto pay, at least we came in under budget there. We had $120.30 remaining of that budget. We spent $84.37. Means we had at least had a positive number there at $35.93. So let's get a total for how much over budget we are in variable spending. In terms of what we spent this week, we already know, thanks to my expense tracker, that it was $976.58. I do apologize. I'm going through this really quickly. I'm just trying to get it over with because I'm kind of disgusted with myself. But it's okay. We're making strides to change things moving forward so that this does not happen again. So I'm starting with the positive number and just subtracting out all the negatives. We are over budget in variable by $207.75. Okay, now let's close out the whole month. I'm going to shift this around a little bit. All right, so for savings challenges, I did put away $400 and I did pay that $400 to debt, which is great. So that's done. For sinking funds, I told you guys my sinking funds are a mess. I've been depositing money from our main account into an account for our sinking funds, and it's just been sitting there, not being allocated to anything. And I keep putting it off and using our spending money for stuff that should be sinking funds and messing up my monthly budget. So what I'm going to do in terms of sinking funds, I did move that $400 over. It's just sitting there along with all the other money that I've put in the last couple of months. We've taken from it here and there for certain things, like larger expenses that would have been sinking funds. But I need to go through that and true everything up, figure it out. Most likely, whatever I am over budget for July, I do anticipate being over budget overall. I'm going to take out of that sinking funds money to kind of even everything out. And then whatever's left in our sinking funds, I'm going to allocate, actually sit down, separate everything out. And I think I'm going to do my sinking funds in cash like I used to, because I got to get it organized and situated. The way I've been doing things clearly is not working. Anyways, so for groceries, we had $1,200 total for the month, and we know that we went over budget by $93.39. So I can take the $1,200 that we budgeted and the $93.39 we were over budget and figure out that I spent a total of $1,293.39, which, considering the fact that we did a huge Sam's Club trip, actually is not bad. If we had not done that Sam's Club trip, we would have come in significantly under budget for groceries. I know the end of this month has been chaotic and looks awful, and it looks like I haven't even been trying at all, but in terms of like spending in groceries the previous weeks, I was really trying to spend less. Like, only spent $53 that week. I mean, these are still some higher numbers, but for us, they're pretty low actually. And if it wasn't for that $400 at Sam's Club, we would have come in under budget. So even though we're over budget, it's not by much, and that included a big trip. I think that's actually a win. You guys can tell me what you think, but considering we usually spend about $1,200 without going to Sam's Club, I'd say that's pretty good. We're pretty well stocked up on stuff now for a little while in terms of things that we buy at Sam's Club, like toilet paper and paper towels and all of those things. So subsequent grocery weeks should be less. So I don't know. I'm not too mad at that. What I am mad at is the eating out. So as I mentioned, we did drastically cut our budget in an attempt to eat out less. And up until this last week, I actually felt like we were doing decent. Like, yeah, we were $18.99 over budget last week, but if that had been all we were over budget, it still would have been like really good compared to previous months. But then we went this week and just blew it. So we budgeted $200. We spent $128.91 more than that, which means we spent $328.91 in eating out overall. And I'm interested to see how that compares to last month. Just for shits and giggles here. Last month we spent $393.61. So we still spent less. Yes, we were over budget, but that was a really lofty goal for me to spend like half as much. Clearly I failed at that goal, but I did spend less than I normally would have. So I'm gonna kind of put a little silver lining cloud on that one too. For spending, we budgeted $500 and we were $21.30 over budget. So we spent $521.38 total. And then for auto pay, we budgeted $300, but we still had $35.93 remaining. So we only spent $264.07. So we're under budget there. We were also under budget in some bills, plus we have this buffer. So let's see overall how we did for the month. Down here, you can see my total is $6,000. So we're aiming for less than that. I don't think so, you guys. I think we're over budget, but let's let the numbers tell the real story. So let me get all of these actual amounts added up. Okay, so yeah, provided my math was right, we spent $6,217.08, which is $217.08 over budget. And what contributed to that? Too much grocery shopping, too much eating out. We also went over budget on our camping trip by quite a bit. What helped? Coming in under budget in some of these bills. I always like to budget my bills high so that we have a little bit of an extra wiggle room in our budget. We also did have that $180 buffer, but it wasn't quite enough. We were over budget this month. It's the first month in a while we were over budget. $217.08 is not really that bad in the grand scheme of things. Like, considering how kind of shitty I did in the last 2 weeks in terms of the budget, this could have been way worse. So yeah, I'm definitely going to take money from our sinking funds to help offset this overage. I'm going to figure all of that out. I've got quite a bit of money in that fund because I've just been putting money there but then not using it. Because I kept saying, like, I'm going to get organized and I'm going to allocate all of that money, and then I just never did. So I'm going to sit down today and do that. Get everything figured out. We're going to start fresh with a new month in August, and I'm going to try paycheck budgeting in August. When I first started out with my budget journey, I was doing paycheck budgeting, and that really, really helped me, and I was super successful. So I'm going to try that again for August and see if I can't, like, get my shit together and do better. I've got some big goals for August, so yeah, be on the lookout for that coming soon. For now, I will say goodbye. Let me know how you did in July. Was it a train wreck like it was for me, or was it super successful? I hope you were super successful in your budget. If you made it all the way through till the end, leave me a strawberry emoji because we are closing out this strawberry theme, we're moving on to the honey lemon collection for August, which I'm super psyched about. You guys will be seeing that video coming real soon. So until then, have a great day. I love you so much. Take care. Bye.